Hi. Thank you for being here. Got music today. A little bit of different intro. Now we were really supposed to have it a few seconds earlier. Press the wrong button. But welcome. It's Beryl McClary again. Author of the book, The Next Chapter. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for your support. And I hope that I can introduce you to me and what my book has to offer. And hopefully it'll bless you. I won't go through reading all of it. We're going to deal with chapter 1, which deals with mind, the mind. Pure thoughts and good intentions. And one of the reasons that I think this is relevant today is because we are isolated because of the quarantine. And in this isolation, what is it that we think about? Do we keep repeating what we hear on the news? Do we keep repeating what we don't like? Do we consume loads and loads of it? Do we watch a lot of Netflix, Hulu? Are we watching television? And all of that is good in its appropriate time. But I think that during this time where we've been asking for a vacation, some time to find ourselves, sometimes just to think, sometimes I've said, I just need time to think. I just need to slow down. And in private practice, there is no slow down time. There is no, excuse me, I'm getting a little ding over here. There is no slow down time. It's no, because you're still doing everything, especially now for me, the law firm that I'm affiliated with, all the support staff was laid off because we're all interconnected. But in light of what is happening and the uncertainty of it all, what do we do? So we're going to talk about our thoughts, because we have to get them contained. You always have a lot of naysayers that like to repeat everything that's going on. Why am I laughing? That's my husband again. What happened is that I was speaking before, and guess whose telephone went off? It was his. And so with that being said, I don't want it to become part of that. So let's go on. I said in my pure thoughts and good intentions. Simply put, problems that need to be solved are illusions of the mind, which kind of goes to the scripture in the New Testament that says that things that are seen are temporal, but things that are unseen are forever. Honor the power of your mind, for it has the ability to create heaven on earth and hell within. You must resolve to give the world the best of you as opposed to what's left of you, which comes to, I just ain't got no more left. And during this time that we are home and sequestered, we call it sequestered as far as jury trials, when we separate the witnesses as until there's time for them to be called in. We call it sequestered, and this setting we call it quarantine. So while we're sequestered or quarantined, what kind of thoughts are we planting in our minds? Because this can be a scary time. Will I get my job back? Will my business be rehabilitated? We hear the statistics that many businesses will not come back. What do we do? What do we do? What do I think about? I remember back in 2008, 9, and 10, when there was the recession, and my babies were young, at 6, and they were young, and the 401k dropped out. And everybody was, at least around our age, they were released from their jobs, of course, furloughed, as they call them. They're starting to do that now. They were forced to take retirement at 45, 47. I was older. They were downsizing. There was a lot of dismay, a lot of discouragement. What do you do? What do you do? What do you do? So I'll tell you what I did. And one of the reasons why I talk about the mind is that I started to look up, if I didn't keep anything else on, I kept my internet on. And I started to read. And what I did was read, and I looked up self-made millionaires. for that year and the year before. And I saw that there were millionaires being made even in the midst of the crisis. This was during the time of Obama, who did a tremendous job in his rehabilitation. And then I started to check into it and said, well, if they read this, now I want to know, what did they read? What did they do? It says, well, why did you do that? Because I knew that not everybody was going through a negative period. I knew that. I could see that. Not everybody. Money floats. Money is still around. The money did not disappear. Just because it wasn't in my pocket and maybe the person beside me pocket, that money was still there. So the question is, how did I get it? How did I succeed through what could be a very dismal period? And at that point, you have to make a decision. Someone described me as being strong, risk taker, educator, protector, defender, leader, committed, loyal, confident, attractive, and faithful. Now, these are words I'm going to ask you, which do you identify with? Which of these words do you truly believe can be true about you and are true about you? Do you have the right perception of yourself in the midst of perhaps joblessness? Where's all? And you didn't bring it upon yourself. The key to this all is to remember that your opinion trumps all other opinions. It's above all other opinions. You have to keep on talking to yourself. It will not be like this always. And if you are affected by what others say about you, your perception of yourself will be determined by their opinions rather than your own self-reflection. So we're going to take a moment to close our ears to the chatter of others. Close your ears to the chatter of negativity, of just idle words. Just idle words. I say, I didn't mean to say that, but I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Okay, I'm going to tell you this. I'm saying this. Move away, because those things affect you. I mean, I'm just saying, man, that's what it's saying. You know, everybody else ain't got it. I don't know what we're going to do. No, we're not going to deal with that. Sometimes you have to even, what I did was actually put on tapes. I mean, not tapes, you know what I'm saying. Okay, I'm from old school. It's kind of being over 60. I try to be cool. My children try to teach me how to be cool. The twins haven't gotten back home yet, so I have like cool lessons from my 20-year-old twins. My sons just are entertained by me and they laugh, so bear with me. I'm kind of like in betwixt and in between. But with it all, there are certain principles that never change. It's kind of like with your mindset. If you jump off of a building, and I don't care who you are, I don't care if you're Buddhist, Christian, whatsoever, we know that gravity will bring you down, and there's a great likelihood that when you jump off of a building of 10 stories that you're going to fall and break something up, perhaps be imminent death. Where there are also positive macrocosms of life, which is seeing beyond the circumstance, seeing beyond the negative, keeping your eyes focused on what can be and what will be, because we do know this will pass. Look beyond what others think you are. Look beyond that. There is a reason why you're here. There's something in you that is unique just to you. And that was something I had to learn. What was unique just to me? So often people around you, and maybe we all do it, want you to conform to a certain image. I remember when I was in elementary school, and at that point, it was not integrated. Can you believe that? Yep, I was at a point where there was still segregation. And there was a teacher. I wanted to be in a play. And I kept raising my hand, and I was all excited. And I wanted to be accepted, you know, and I was always smart, and I would do my work. And I was on the stage. I was just hoping, see me, please. And they chose another teacher's child to be leading the play. And I wanted to know why. And the perception of that teacher was, because you are a Thompson, that's my family name, and you can't speak. Devastating if you're a fourth grade and you're all excited. How could I overcome that? I didn't ask that then. It just hurt my feelings, and I shriveled back and just remained being smart, if you want to call that being smart. Well, later on, it's amazing. Words have power. Words have power. And that's what I'm going to talk to you about. The words you speak, the words you allow other people to speak, no, don't accept. And so I went on. Come to 7th grade, integration had been there just a year. And I want to clarify, I didn't stutter. I spoke very rapidly. My daddy stuttered, and I had a sister who stuttered very rapidly, and she was brilliant, but I didn't. But the teacher's view of me was the same view she had of my sister. Incorrect, but she spoke those words over me. And then I remember I ran for office. I was in 7th grade, and I ran for vice president in a town that was full of racism galore. It was the second year of integration. It's 1970. Integration happened in Lake County in 1969, way behind many, many other states. And I made my first public speech, and guess what it was called? It's Time for Change. And this teacher worked with me, helped me write it, taught me how to say it, along with my mother. My mother always wanted to be a speaker. She was short, and she would go, and she would be very exaggerated. She was short, and she was little, and show me how to roll my R's. Of course, she wanted me to speak like Beryl McClary and anybody else. But this teacher believed in me and helped me to see myself differently. But I wanted to see myself differently. And so I did not accept what that other teacher spoke over me in 4th grade. I didn't accept that. And I'm telling you not to accept it. Do not accept lack. Do not accept what others say. You can't make it. I do not accept because I was born. I do not accept it. Within you is all that you need. We have to get to a place where we say, I am enough. I was created with enough. If the young man that has no arms and no legs can preach he's either from New Zealand or Australia, can find within himself to preach around the world and find that within him, I am enough, so must we as we sit in quarantine or in the law of sequestration. As you contemplate and think, I am enough. Just as I am. Whatever I've got, that's it. That's the way it comes. Yes, we do change and we try to improve. And that's very important, to improve. But understanding that the basics in me is enough. I don't have to be you, and you don't have to be me. And I've got something for you. And you've got something for me. It's appreciating the differences. Well, we go on. It's amazing how we get in our thoughts. I remember when I went to school, and I never really thought I was a pretty girl. I always thought that somebody else was prettier. Now again, I focus on academia. Let's see how smart you can be. And I was actually more talented, but I can tell you some of the things that happened. I remember when I was over the high school play, and because I was black, the teachers didn't support me. And I looked at that and I just kind of dropped it, and I'm like, oh my gosh. So you're just kind of relegated to being smart, and that's pretty much so it. I wasn't a cheerleader, etc. And then I went on, and it's amazing. I don't know why I thought I was fat. I wasn't. Never really thought about looks or whatever. Just went on. Just do what we do. Now, it's amazing. 30 years later, I get a nephew who became the president of the University of Florida. He says, Auntie Bonnie, somebody remembered you. These guys, I guess they were Catholics, and they were saying, you were so pretty, but you wouldn't talk to anybody. I'm like, me? Me, my self-perception. Isn't that something? I didn't even know it until I was older. Self-perception. The whole thing about beauty was something that I didn't entertain because I thought that I could just be smart. Now, what are we looking at now? In retrospect, I actually hated being like everybody else in order to succeed. I hated to have to wear the blue suit to show that I was a lawyer, or the gray suit to show that I was a lawyer. And there was a part of me that was just absolutely rebellious, or that my parents had to be this or that. I always took pride that nobody could deny me my work ethic, but inside of me, I was always a little rebellious. I just don't want to be like you. In fact, I wore a pink suit. Now, I didn't get the job, but it was my expression of myself. And I understood that I had the power to control my narrative. And I had the power to control my story. And you have the power to control your narrative. You have the power to control your story. What will the end be? It is important. Well, we look at disappointments. The same power is within you. You can either allow others to make you feel inferior based on their limited perceptions, and there's always somebody who wants to make you feel inferior. You think you somebody. You think you can. What makes you think you can do this? We have plenty of those. Your has been, your had been, you're not been, you kind of been. I'm telling you, you are. We cannot be limited by other people's perceptions. It is very important that you do not get your affirmation on the outside. You've got to take it on in your own hands. Sometimes you need to change your friends. I had to make friends with audio. How did I make friends with audio? I started listening to every person I could relate to that was positive. That's what I did. People that were above me, people that had succeeded in a manner that I wanted to succeed. And yes, I got criticized for that. I got criticized because I studied too much. I got criticized because I was listening too much. I got criticized because I just wasn't being like somebody else. And I didn't want to be. I don't want to be like you. I want to be me. But there are so many things to learn from others, and you try to learn from those who have succeeded in the area that you desire, because it's not like you're trying to make a new wheel. You're just trying to make your wheel better. That's all. That's all I was trying to do. There was a man I listened to, and I found out through it, believe it or not, was through network sales. I even tried that during the time the economy was down. Now, I'm not good at sales, not at all. But I did learn a lot. And I feel like in every opportunity, there is something to learn. And that's the way I go into a situation. Either you learn how to do it, or you learn how not to do it. But there's something to learn wherever you are, and from wherever, if you keep your eyes open and not be critical, not being critical. And you can even learn something from the critical. That is, I don't want to be like that. And I don't want to see life do that. I don't want to see life small. I want to see life big. So I would read. One of the people that I used to read a lot from was, and I thought was interesting, was a man named Jim Rohn. It says, a formal education will make you a living. Self-education will make you a fortune. Those interesting words. Because I had a lot of formal education. And they didn't teach me how to make money. They taught us how to memorize, how to be smart, how to represent. But they didn't tell us how to earn money. And I would look at all of these others from ethnic backgrounds who understood business and how to maneuver within it. and maneuver successfully based on that background. But interestingly enough, I had to note, they put on their pants one leg at a time, just like me. So there must be something I needed to learn. And what I started to do was find information online and listen to those people. And I even would type in and find out, what did they read? What do they read? What do they know? And I would take notes. Sometimes I'd have to listen to it again, and I'd take more notes. And I was very diligent in that. And I'd take more notes until I got it on the inside of me, until I could see it. Because it takes a minute. It takes a minute to get that out of you. So as we go through life, life goes through real life twists and turns. And at times can feel like a series of disappointments. And these moments can play a role in how we see ourselves. You can feel like, my goodness, everything is going wrong, and you can feel so hopeless and trapped. You can have a mental cage around you, a mental imprisonment. And the truth is that we have to assume responsibility for changing our perception. It is not for others to change your perception. They can encourage you, but the change in perception comes from you. It comes from your heart. How do you do it? I just kept on listening, and I kept on taking notes. And then we have to remember, we have to be willing to jump over the obstacles, go through the obstacles, kick the obstacles, but understanding that when we look through, I'm going over. And I'm not saying it's easy. I'm not saying it's abracadabra. And you got to understand it's work. First work is, I would tell them, I said, I can't be going to church every service. That's passivity. You've got to work at what you want. You got to do your own research. You got to do your own exercises. You got to hold your own mind. It's going to be longer than that 1 hour on Sunday. And so I did an intentional act of filling my life with positive thoughts and resolving within me that the voice within me would be louder than the voices outside of me. I would listen to motivational speakers that I could relate to. Maya Angelou, Jim Rohn, Les Brown. I would keep on until my thinking and my heart was different. I would do this even when I was running. I started running. I started walking, actually, when I returned to these things was when we were in the middle of a trial. And to keep myself encouraged in very dire circumstances, I would listen to these motivations. And then I started to run. Now, you would laugh at this. I would have these motivational videos. And so I'm running. And then I'm running. And I remember that there was one, it had a beat, but the guy was running faster and faster. Now my legs were not moving as fast as my hands, but I'm telling you, that motivational music, that motivational things, it had me going. And I was going. Understand, my arms were going faster than my feet, but it had me all ramped up until my heart was full. And then I could stop. I want you to remember that as you go on, no one is going to care more about your future than you. People will help you, but nobody is assigned to guarantee your success. There's joy in knowing you're not alone when life situates you. And the good Lord is always there. In this walk in your mind, I resolved never to ask why. I remember one of the speakers, might have been Tony Robbins, somebody. And I don't ask why. Why is this happening to me? Why doesn't it happen to someone else? I always ask how. How can I get over this? How can I get over this mountain? How can I redirect myself? How can I succeed? How can I go through? What should I do next? What needs to be changed? I don't ask why, because I figure if it came to me, there's a way to get over it. Because the Bible also says God makes a way over all things. So you're not looking for abracadabra. Whether it's weight loss, whether it's job challenges, it ain't no magic wand. Abracadabra. It doesn't work like that. Just doesn't work like that. Nobody's obligated to your success. And it's amazing. If you ask a better question in life, you will get a better answer. Watch the questions that you ask. The Bible even speaks of that. Ask. Seek and you shall find. Ask and it will be given. What you asking? What are you asking? What question are you asking that the good Lord can give you an answer to, or direct your heart to? And what is it? Just a feeling. You gotta listen to your gut. Just kind of go in that direction. And you will get naysayers, even as you go through that. But you gotta trust the God in you. Trust the gut in you. In the midst of all this. Calming yourself. Trusting God. I remember my lowest moments there in 2009 or 10. You know what I did with my money? When I chose not to pay any bills, I bought every book and magazine that related to business. Because I knew I was coming out. And I did. I actually got on television. I knew that there was a way. And I would listen to them and I said, oh, they did this, they did that. Take a little note. And God does bring those things your way. But the person that says, oh, I tried that and it didn't work for me. Oh, but it cost so much money. Oh, God. That's when you need to put your earplugs in. Put your ears in and listen to something else. That person is whining. And when you're in a fight for going toward your destiny, keeping your mind straight that you can go forward, that I am enough. You gotta block it out. You gotta block it out. You can't do anything else. You can do that. You're gonna calm yourself and you're gonna block that out. When you're younger, in your 30s, I remember, you're proving yourself. Late 20s, proving yourself in the workplace. You're always proving. You're better than this person, better than that. Everybody was looking good, whatever. The great thing about being older is that you be content with who you are and what you are. That is, it is so easy to say. If you don't like it, that's okay. I am not for everybody, but for those I am for, welcome. I am content with every pimple I have. I am content with every wrinkle that I have. I actually like myself. And it's not my obligation to change and mold for you. Can you imagine changing and molding for everybody? Refinement, yes. How we speak, making sure we're kind, how we present, what do other people sing. But to stay around a bunch of people that want you to conform and be like them is not something we want to do. But in conclusion, I would ask you not to be dependent on the approval of others. And if you got any comments, let me know. Join me again tomorrow. Feel free to share. And I will see you tomorrow, same time, 1 o'clock, as we go through chapter 2 of the next chapter. Thank you for joining me.